Thanks to UPDF for sponsoring this video. Apple is gearing up to shock the world with some brand new products that are finally set to change everything. We're about to see some massive iPhone upgrades, some huge software updates and new features, and a brand new device that is set to be amazing, or could be, potentially, Apple's biggest flop of all time. After a pretty slow start to the year, things are about to get crazy good, crazy fast here in the world of Apple. And in this video, I'm breaking down the top 10 new products, new features, big updates coming for us Apple fans over the next couple of weeks. Get ready to see Apple's master plan. Things are gonna be crazy good this year. And if all goes according to plan, Apple is finally looking to take down Android. I feel like I've been sort of dunking on Apple a lot lately. Sorry about that, Tim. But so far in 2023, Apple's announcements have been minor, to say the least. Not only did we not get any kind of fall event to sort of wrap up the year of 2022, but we've gotten almost nothing new from Apple in 2023, no events, no real anything, besides some press releases and some new products. Nice to see, like the M2 MacBook Pros and Mac Mini, but those are pretty small updates with that weird sort of virtual event that kick things off. But all of that is about to change, because according to all the leaks, all the rumors, even Apple themselves, we're now gearing up for the sort of second half of 2023 that's supposed to be just jam-packed from Apple. We've got a ton of new products set to be released really soon, like in the next couple of weeks or so. Big updates, new iPhones, new Macs. Let me break it all down and tell you about these new products and hopefully a couple of new events that should make this year one to remember in the wild world of Apple. One of the first big announcements that really took the internet by storm and came as a big surprise is that Logic and Final Cut are coming to the iPad. Finally. After years and years of debate and criticism and controversy that the iPad was great but the software was lacking, looks like Apple is finally putting their money where their mouth is. They're listening to their customers and finally bringing these pro apps to the iPad. And while this announcement is exciting and it's cool and I'm excited to see how all this works, what I'm even more excited about is the fact that this was announced before WWDC, because this, in and of itself is pretty major news. And if this didn't make the cut for WWDC, if they had to release it early, that means this June event should be so jam-packed with new amazing things. It should sort of be better than we're expecting, hopefully in every single way. And speaking of getting some new stuff from Apple, what if I told you you could add some revolutionary features to your iPhone, your iPad, and Mac right now in like a couple of simple clicks or the tap of your finger on your phone? If you are looking to revolutionize and supercharge the way you work with PDFs, you can do it right now. You can give yourself a massive upgrade, all thanks to this video sponsor, UPDF. It's the ultimate one-stop solution that lets you not only read, but also annotate, edit, sign, and convert PDFs with just a couple of simple clicks. You can easily search through pages and pages of documents through the power of OCR, and even merge multiple PDFs into one, which is insanely useful, and that's just the very beginning of what UPDF can do for you. And not only does it work beautifully on all your Apple devices, but also is gonna give you full functionality and work great on Windows and Android as well. In fact, you can get the full power of UPDF on all your devices with just one single license. And with that license, you unlock the ability to convert an unlimited amount of documents and also get 10 gigs of cloud storage from UPDF totally for free. And I've got a special deal just for you guys so you can unlock the full potential of this on every single one of your devices. If you click our exclusive link down below in the description, you will get a 54% discount and 10 gigs of UPDF cloud storage through our special link. So again, hit that link down below, take advantage of this amazing deal and unlock the full potential of UPDF on all your devices. One single license has got you covered. Hit that link right down below to learn more and take advantage of this amazing deal right now. So speaking of WWDC, let's sort of go in chronological order and start with this June event. Apple is holding their first event of the year in early June. It's their annual developers conference, and there are some major updates we're expecting to see here, both on the hardware side and of course the software side too, with big updates coming to iOS, macOS, iPadOS, watchOS, and all the stuff you'd expect. On the software side, it looks like iOS 17 and the new version of Apple Watch will be the biggest software updates we see this this year, as these two software OSs are going to get major overhauls. On iOS 17, we might see a new control center, we could get interactive widgets, some of Apple's own design apps could be getting a facelift, we could get some sort of new customizations on the lock screen, a new journaling app. There's a lot that we should see, and it looks like Apple is finally giving iOS the attention it deserves and adding in many of these hotly requested features that users have been asking for years. Same sort of story on the Apple Watch front as well. We don't know exactly what new features Apple is planning to add, just a major software facelift is coming to that little screen on your wrist, basically in just a couple of weeks from now. And while new software is going to be great to see, what I think many are more excited about are the new hardware opportunities as well, because if these rumors are true, Apple is set to launch more than just a couple of products at WWDC. This could be one of the biggest hardware events we've ever seen from Apple. Some of these new products, for example, could be some new AirPods in the form of AirPods Pro and AirPods Max. AirPods Pro just sort of got a big update, so not a whole lot is expected here, though the charging case is going to get a switch on the bottom from Lightning over to USB-C, so happy to see that. And AirPods Max, that should get a USB-C port as well, and should get all the new AirPods Pro internals in this over-the-ear experience. So we should get new colors, we should get better active noise cancellation, active transparency, the H2 chip, and more. In addition to that, the other star of the show is going to be finally a new larger MacBook Air. Apple used to do an 11-inch and 13-inch MacBook Air, which was kind of a cool combination, but for years and years, people have wanted a larger screen option, and now that is finally coming in the form of a 15-inch MacBook Air. This is gonna have the exact same design as the one we've got right now, which is nice to see and all. Nice keyboard, nice display, the notch is going to be there, and if you're wondering about M3, it doesn't look like that's gonna be here. M2 chip will be inside, though there are some rumors this could have a configuration that comes with the M2 Pro chip. And there's also been some renewed speculation over the last couple of days that maybe we see more new Macs than just that MacBook Air at WWDC. Mark Gurman from Bloomberg says that Apple is testing several new Macs with the M2 series chips that may make their appearance. Seems likely that we get a new Mac Studio at this point that would have the M2 Max and the M2 Ultra chips. So basically, you would have sort of the M2 equivalent of what we had with the M1 Mac Studio, and then maybe the Mac Pro, maybe not the Mac Pro. There's been a lot of rumors that we should see this at some point. Apple has been teasing an Apple Silicon Mac Pro for a while now, but we've got no clear indication, no definitive answer of when this is coming. So there's a good chance it comes in a couple of days at WWDC, but if not, your guess is as good as mine, because we really don't know what the status of this thing is. And then, of course, comes the most controversial new product that many are very excited to see, both excited to see it hopefully be successful or fail, depending on what your thoughts are on it, and that is Apple's mixed reality headset. It could be called the Apple Reality Pro. I've done deep dives on this before. Basically, the highlights include a lot of high-end sensors and tech and cameras. Looks like this thing is going to have all the iOS and sort of iPad and even some sort of Mac experiences you would expect, so all your favorite apps should hopefully be here. And there's a lot we just don't know about this. We don't know how it's going to work. We don't know what killer apps it's going to have, what's the battery life, all that stuff. Apple's really going to have to sell us and wow us on this, and the expectation right now is that Apple is going to dedicate a pretty good chunk of time of their keynote address at WWDC to sort of showing off this headset and what it can do and why you've got to have it. And speaking of wanting to have it, be sure to start saving now, because rumors right now say this headset could cost anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 for this very first model. Also, I should mention that Apple should show it off at this event, but probably won't launch it until the end of the year. After that, Apple's summer plans will be basically just preparing for the fall, getting new software ready, and the next Apple event we should see in September is going to be the launch of our favorite new product, and that's going to be the entire 2023 iPhone 15 lineup. And to keep it short and sweet, here's what you need to know. There's going to be 4 models: an iPhone 15, 15 Plus, 15 Pro, and 15 Pro Max. On the 15 and 15 Plus side, this is going to have a pretty similar design to what we have right now, though Apple is going to finally ditch the notch and bring the dynamic island down to the regular regular non-Pro phones this year. Also, the main camera on these phones is going to go from 12 megapixels up to a 48 megapixel main camera. Gonna be great to see. Port on the bottom is gonna switch away from Lightning over to USB-C. We should get a new processor inside, some better colors on the outside, some new options, and that's basically the story of the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. Some nice upgrades here, but nothing certainly revolutionary here. If you want the best of the best, that's of course gonna be, as always, reserved for the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max, so do expect to pay more this year for the Pro phones than you've ever paid before. We may get a slightly tweaked design with curved edges that reveal sort of a flat back on the back of the phone, similar to something like this or the iPhone 5C. The 15 Pro Max is gonna get an exclusive feature, which is gonna be a 10x optical zoom camera, so if you do an extra zoom, that's gonna be the phone to get. We're gonna ditch Lightning for USB-C, hopefully faster data transfer speeds on the Pro phones. We're gonna get a new processor, hopefully better battery life, some new color options, and then also Apple is expected to ditch the mute switch, that toggle for an all new mute button that should be programmable. So not only can you sort of mute and unmute your phone by pressing that side button, but also you may be able to program it like the action button on the Apple Watch Ultra. So it could launch apps, it could open to a workout, it could maybe call someone, just sort of be programmable and add a new level of customization to the iPhone you've got, but again, only the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max. Of course, we also should see some new Apple Watches launch this fall as well. Apple Watch Series 9, though we don't really know exactly what's gonna change. And also there's a big question of Apple Watch Ultra version 2. Will Apple do a new Ultra watch every year, every other year? It's sort of TBD right now. We haven't heard a lot about that, but new iPhones and new Apple Watches should be launching at a September event and hopefully should be released shortly thereafter. And then the rest of Apple's fall plans get a little bit murky because there's a lot of Apple products that we are expecting to see before the end of the year, but there's no clear timeline on when they could be released. So we should be getting some new iPads at some point this year, though Mark Gurman over at Bloomberg says to not expect any major updates this year. Apple's reserving that for next year, but we should be getting some spec bumps at least on some models sometime this fall. There's also a couple of new Macs in the pipeline that we should see released before the end of the year, namely a iMac that should have an M3 chip. Apple just sort of did a big overhaul to the iMac a couple of years ago, so probably no design change, though Apple should swap out the M1 in there potentially for the M3. Okay, and that is what we think we know. Like I mentioned, sort of a slower start to the year, but if all these rumors pan out, 2023 is gonna be jam-packed with lots of new stuff. I'm so excited to see the new updates coming with iOS 17. I can't wait to get, obviously, the new iPhones, and hopefully the headset lives up to the hype and expectations, and we'll all be wearing around headsets on our head in the not so distant future, maybe. We'll see about that and how that plays out. As always, I'm curious, what are your thoughts? Do you think Apple is having a good year or a bad year in 2023? Let me know your thoughts on all the rumors down below. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. I am Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you all in the next one.